thrive in the dark. When you sit quietly in physiological discomfort without reaching for a distraction or projecting judgment, the noise eventually settles. Only then does the suppressed shadow have the space to surface into conscious awareness. Deliberately embracing this darkness is the mandatory mechanism for disarming the reactive loop and encountering your authentic self. The precise operational mechanism for achieving this integration is somatic liminality. We call this the still point. The still point is the physical space of suspension that exists in your body at the very top of an in-breath and at the very bottom of an out-breath. The instruction is strictly mechanical. When a situation triggers your familiar urge to react, you stop. You rest in that physical suspension of breath. You tolerate the spike of discomfort without assigning any meaning or judgment to the person in front of you. Holding this physical still point deprives the cognitive behavioral loop of its fuel. The rigid pretense filter dissolves, allowing the energy of the shadow to be extracted and integrated back into the whole system. In this state of somatic suspension, the exhausting, combative binary of proving who is right and who is wrong finally collapses. The newly integrated operating system is no longer a defense mechanism. It becomes a balanced, continuously flowing loop of accurate input and conscious output. When the shadow is integrated, its raw energy is repurposed. A trait like repressed anger stops leaking out as passive aggression. Instead, it becomes a conscious tool, like the energy required to set a firm boundary or advocate for the vulnerable. The system gains stability. It can receive difficult, conflicting, or unpleasant data from other people without immediately spiking into a threat alert. You can observe the ultimate embodiment of an integrated, filter-free dynamic in the simplest moments. Imagine an elderly couple sitting quietly together on a park bench. After minutes of silence, the man turns to the woman and says, "Do you know what a pain in the ass you are?" Without missing a beat, she replies, "Yup." A few minutes later, she asks, "Do you know what an irritating ties the development of a filter-free life driven by authentic preference? It allows the individual to navigate social friction without the mechanical need to distort reality for safety. When you stop manufacturing wrongness, the internal resistance to reality collapses. This integration resolves the chronic tension of the pretense filter, allowing the system to settle into a state of psychological rest.